The following podcast is part of the MindBodySpirit.fm podcast network. Are you searching for balance in a busy world? Looking to nourish your soul and inspire your mind? Introducing Spirituality and Health, a Unity publication. Each issue of the magazine brings you insightful articles on mindfulness, wellness, and the profound connection between body and spirit. Spirituality and Health is your companion on the journey to a more fulfilling life. Subscribe today and receive 3 digital issues for free. Visit spiritualityhealth.com/3 free. Grammy-nominated singer-songwriter Jewel is on the cover of the July-August issue of Spirituality and Health magazine. Start your subscription today.
This episode is brought to you by Accenture. When your advertising operations fall out of sync, everything else follows. Spotify and Accenture are working together to reinvent the rhythm of ad sales, using automation, analytics, and smarter workflows to simplify campaign delivery and access better data across the business. The result? Less time spent on operations, more time connecting brands with the moments and fandoms that matter most. Learn more at accenture.com/Spotify.
Hi, I'm Lindsay, host of the Live Like Eden podcast. What do you do when your whole life flips upside down? Are you questioning everything, lost in chaos, or yearning for life's deeper meaning? I've been there, deep in the thick of it, unraveling my own awakening mess for over 20 years. Now I'm here to help you through yours. I share no-nonsense weekly wake-ups, cutting through the ego's illusions to wake you up to your own spiritual wisdom. No mountaintop bliss needed here, just practical tools, insights, and real-life experience to save you time. Plus, a much-needed laugh when we're all losing it. Let's dive into this fresh new episode. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode. I was on vacation last week with my family and my husband's family. We went to Hilton Head Island. It was beautiful. We had no rain, relaxed on the beach, enjoyed the warm water. It was really wonderful. And one of the daily rituals that I do, not only in my regular life, but on vacation, is we get a coffee. We're standing in line at Starbucks, and I tell my 4 kids, I'm only paying for a tall. If you want to upgrade your drink to a grande or a venti, you're on your own. So one of my daughters goes venti all the way, and she decides that she's ordering her own drink, and she has this very specific order. And I looked at it and I was like, wow, where in the world did you come up with that order? She's like, oh, I got it on TikTok. I'm like, who looks up coffee drinks on TikTok? I guess this generation, right? I have no idea. I don't know anything about that. But you want to hear this drink order? And there's a method to my madness here. So I want you to hear this. This is what she orders. She orders an iced quad espresso. And the details of what's in this drink are as follows. An iced quad espresso in a venti cup, line the cup with caramel, quad shot, blonde espresso, 2 brown sugar syrup pumps, 2 white mocha pumps, and oat milk halfway up the cup. Now, apparently she's hacked in to making this drink, which would normally be probably a $10 venti iced coffee, to like a $4 or $5 drink. Smart, right? But what kills me about this drink is it's so complicated, right? Like, oh my God, when did we just stop drinking black coffee? I mean, I love coffee. I love going. I love the ambiance of a coffee shop. I like working in them, everything about them. But I just laughed so hard because of this drink. And I thought, we overcomplicate everything. Don't we? Do you ever find in your life that everything just seems so complicated? Like maybe you have a problem in your life right now. Think about it. Something's not going well. You're overwhelmed and you're looking for a solution. And you're looking for some solution, except all these solutions just seem so over the top. There's too many steps that you have to take. Why does it have to be full of so much detail? Can't you just give me a simple answer? Right? And it makes me think a lot about the world we're living in. And as I love to do on this show, we're going deep into the depths of our spirituality, discovering something greater than who we think we are. and something else, like there must be something else. Do you ever wake up in the morning and go, there just got to be something else? You know? This is me. I'm always like, I think we're missing something. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's amazing things in the world. It can be beautiful and lovely, but it can also be really shitty, right? It can be horrible. You're wondering, why does this go on here? There's got to be something greater than this. And that's what I'm getting at today, how we overcomplicate everything. Let's stop overcomplicating and learn the art of letting it be. Maybe the Beatles were really onto something, right? Let it be. Speaking words of wisdom, let it be. But our minds don't like to do that, do they? Our mind loves to jump in and it wants an answer to absolutely everything. I personally found myself involved in this situation many years ago when I suddenly had a bolt of lightning go through me, an energy surge through my spine that started me on a trajectory towards transformation that I'd never even heard of. It literally flipped my world upside down. I had no idea what was happening to me. For years and years, I was feeling all this crazy energetic phenomenon in my body. I was in and out of the doctor. I didn't know what the hell was happening. And I wanted an answer. The main theme going on was I had a problem and I needed a solution now. But I could never find one. And that was part of the huge problems. I could never find an answer to this supposed problem that I believed I had. And the question I want to ask you right now as you're listening is, do you find yourself in the midst of a problem? Any kind of problem, doesn't matter what it is, personal, professional. Maybe you're involved with something that's really impossible at work, or you're having an impasse with somebody. It's just nothing's moving. You're stuck in your personal life. You feel like nothing is getting any better, or you're having a problem with a spouse, a friend. It doesn't really matter, but there's a problem. There's a blockade of some kind, a little bit of resistance going on. If you have that in your life, think about how often your mind wants to get out of it, how often it wants a solution. If only my life would return to the way it was. Or if you've not liked what your life has been doing for years and years and years, you're looking forward to a future life where it looks better. But all of that looks the same because currently we don't like what's happening now, right? So the mind, again, is trying to get out of the now. It sees it as a problem and it wants a solution. And so what does it do? What does our ego mind love to do? It searches. It starts seeking for answers, and it's going externally out there in the world, journeying. We go on a little adventure, and we go down these different roads or paths, and we take U-turns and turn right and left. We're going up and down and all over the place, right? And we actually believe that we're on some special mission. But there's this whole facade being played out, right? We want an answer. So as I go through this show today, I want to talk about a few things. One, we're going to talk about that core problem that we think we have in our mind. Then let's look at the possible invitation that's awaiting us. And then the art of letting it be. How do we do that? How do we do it while we are living? And I don't mean how do we do it while we take our 20-minute meditation. That's not what I'm talking about. That's all great. You can implement meditation in your life. But I'm interested in how to access letting it be in real time, right? I want to know, how can I connect to something greater, letting it be, something wiser than myself as I move through these supposed problems that I believe need answers and solutions. So let's look at this. Let's look at how we can all let it be. My mom sent me an email recently, and she said, hey, there's a new movie coming out, little documentary called Illusion. Maybe you can tune into it after you get home from your vacation. Cool. Well, I got home and realized that the freebie where I could just watch it for nothing was going to expire in like 2 hours. So I just hit play. I watched like a half an hour of this movie. And it was all about the science and the energy of the universe and the search for how the universe was formed, how we're all energetic beings. And I have to be honest, I couldn't watch the whole thing, so I don't even know where it was going to go. But what hit me hard was within the first half hour, there were terms and language that was so complicated that I immediately wanted to turn it off. That's just me. And I actually find this stuff interesting. I do find looking at energy, I felt a lot of it in my life. If I'm being totally honest, what irritates me, and maybe it irritates some of you, is the overcomplicated language involved with it. So it becomes like a textbook. Maybe when you were in school and you're reading textbooks, it was totally boring, right? And you weren't interested in it. But the experience of it, how it feels in your life, is a very different scenario, is it not? So as I'm listening to this, I hear words I've never heard before. They go into talking about fermions and bosons. Have you heard of these? I have no idea what they're talking about. It loses me immediately. Like, I don't need to know the tiny particles floating around me. And everything they show us on these movies, if you've ever looked at this, anytime you're looking at metaphysics, quantum physics, science, the new science, they're always trying to bridge this gap between science and spirituality. Like these two can live in the same plane. I don't know, maybe they can, but I see this a little differently. I see the answers that the mind is seeking are in the realm of the mind. I see it as the ego's answer, the ego's version of spirituality, where it wants to know the outcome, right? Isn't that what the ego's all about? It wants control of the outcome. It needs the outcome to be a certain way. It's got to know. The great knower, I've said this in other episodes, that the ego is the great knower. It thinks it is. But to me, as A Course in Miracles points out, real knowledge with a capital K is God. That's knowledge. And as long as we're still asking questions, we have no knowledge. We are still lost, right? So I'm watching the show and all these terms are floating around and they're showing computer images, computer models of how we're living in these energetic fields, right? I mean, I feel energy. So I am not discounting that there is energy moving through us. I don't see it. I just feel it. But I never see any model. It's always on a computer and it looks like it's just been created by AI or something, right? It's not real. I can tell it's not real. Somebody just created it, kind of like when they show you images and videos of the universe. They don't look real. That looks like a computer model, okay? And they'll say, okay, here's the toroidal field we're living in. And I'm thinking, great, but that's not a real image, How do we know that that's accurate? For me, I don't know. I still am in the space of, I don't know. I don't know. I don't sit there and claim to know anything. I find it interesting. But in the first 30 minutes of this documentary that just came out, Illusion, and for any of you that are interested in learning more about quantum physics and what's out there, check it out. I think you have to pay now. It might have been like $25 to buy it. And they get into sacred geometry and how this is all beautiful in the universe. And it is. There's a lot of things throughout ancient history that are gorgeous. I think so. However, when it becomes so complicated, there's got to be something that we're missing. It just seems like we all forgot something, and it's got to be simpler than that. That's how I feel. Think about it for yourself. Does that resonate for you? Like, I have no idea what you think, but to me, when things get too overwhelming and complicated, it's just like, that's a no. It's just, for me, it's like, no, that can't be right. Interesting, yes. Entertaining, sure. But is it the end all be all? I have no idea. So thinking about this movie, and the core problem that I'm talking about here is that our minds, and I'm specifically referring to the ego mind believes everything is a problem worth solving, right? It believes there's something to find. Seek and ye shall find. That's what we think, right? We think if we keep seeking, we're going to find the answer. And the seeking process typically involves us going, like I said earlier, outside of ourselves onto some sort of adventurous journey or magic carpet ride, right? With our own special genie, right? Guiding us through this adventure of life. And in the self-help world, and even the New Age spiritual movement, there's a lot of how-tos, step-by-step guides. Everybody's got their practice you should do that's going to help your life. There's specific meditation practices, grounding techniques. Anything you can think of is out there. And it serves a purpose, right? It meets us where we're at. So if you're struggling in your life and you happen to go into a bookstore and you see this book just sort of jumping off the shelf at you with something like 5 steps to feel amazing again, you might be all over that. And that book might really help you where you currently are. Is it the answer to everything? Probably not. But it's baby steps, right? It's step by step by step, each thing leading us to the next. What is the self-help movement, the transformation movement, the human potential and personal development movement? What is it doing, really? What is it really saying? It's saying that we're not there yet. We got to keep striving for more. It also implies, and here's the big one to me, that we have to do something to discover our spiritual nature. That there's always something to do. And in the last episode, if any of you listened to it, it was with guest Kelsey Aida. She was talking about her new book, The Manifestation Fix. And one of the things we talked about was you got to just do it. Sometimes when you want things to happen in your life, you have to do something to make that happen. But I'm offering a different take today. What if there's nothing to actually do? What if there's nothing to do behaviorally? What if there's nothing to change about yourself? What if there's nothing to fix at all? Like, what if that were possible? I want you to even think about it right now. Think about all the things you've done in your life, all the moments you've had, all the problems that have presented themselves to you in your life, and ask yourself, did I try to fix that moment? I can answer 1,000% yes, I tried to fix it. I tried to fix it all. I wanted a different outcome because I didn't like what was happening. Have you felt that way too? You didn't like what was happening. You were resisting what was happening because it wasn't part of your plan, right? In fact, you had no idea that that would even enter your life. It was so sudden, shocking, and impactful, and it was taking over your life. And you wanted it gone immediately. There must be a way to get out of it. So I have to do something, right? I have to do something to move past it. And in the world of spirituality, which I'm assuming you're interested in if you're listening to the show, well, maybe I'm not doing my meditation deep enough. Maybe I'm just not setting enough time away to do that meditation. And I'm getting too caught up in my head. And I'm not doing the spiritual practices or reading the spiritual books or attending those retreats or turning on that podcast or listening to my favorite spiritual teacher or guru. And I'm not doing the energy work. You know what I'm saying, right? Or I'm not doing enough yoga. If I just do yoga, I'm going to be enlightened. You know the things. They're all out there. But that's implying that you have to do something to achieve or attain some sort of spiritual status, right? I don't know. What are we actually trying to get? Peace, calm, happiness, joy? What is it that we're looking for? We're seeking a solution to a problem, but what is the feeling underneath the problem that we're looking for? And it's kind of like the last episode because Kelsey was referring to thinking about the feeling that you're wanting, not the material possession that you want. What is it that that material possession is bringing you? It's a feeling, right? There's something that we feel. And if you're in the midst of chaos, in the midst of complication and overwhelm, you want a way out. You want to feel peace. You want that problem to no longer exist, right? It's like you want to snap your finger and you want it gone, and you want it gone immediately. But the funny thing about that is our mind wants it gone immediately, yet a lot of the things that are offered are stages and step-by-step programs that take weeks and months and even years to accomplish. And I can't help but think that's way too complicated. We have to be missing something. There must be an easier way to get through these supposed problems and overcomplicated situations that every single one of us will find ourselves in at some point in our lives. Do we need to be complicated? Does life have to be so complicated? Does science and metaphysics have to make it look like the founding of the universe was this complication of trillions of little particles interacting together? I mean, I don't know. But maybe there's more. Maybe there's an actual invitation awaiting all of us, and we just haven't seen it yet. Or we completely ignore the Evite. Right? Have you ever been invited to a party and you just ignored that invitation because you really didn't want to go? Everybody does that, right? Oh, I don't want to respond. I don't know if I really want to go. I don't really want to bring anything. I don't want to socialize. You know what I'm saying, right? So let's say you're getting an invitation, a very subtle, spiritual invite, but you don't recognize it yet. It's just sitting in your junk mail. Right? It's in your spam folder, but it keeps going in there because you're totally unaware that it's an option. Let's say, for instance, you decide one day something's missing. Something's missing. It's got to be simpler. I'm just going to go through my emails. Yeah, I'm going to check out what's been going into my spam folder because I feel like I was supposed to be getting some emails and I'm just not seeing them. I know we've all done that, right? I've never got that email. Maybe it's in my spam folder. So what do? You go in your spam folder and all of a sudden you see this little invite. And in the subject line, it says, maybe there's nothing to do at all. It's intriguing, right? I like it. That sounds relaxing to me. That sounds peaceful, inviting, and I'm immediately curious about what might be inside of that email. So you get it, you open it up, and you realize there's nothing in it. There's nothing in the body of the email. The subject is just saying, maybe there's nothing to do at all. And it's such a powerful statement, right? Maybe there's nothing to do. Maybe I'm just so fixated on do, the ego's the doer mentality, that I don't even know what it's like to do nothing and just let things be. That is not part of humanity's motto. Is it? When have you ever turned on anything, especially in some sort of self-improvement workshop, and heard anybody say, thanks for attending the workshop. The main message today is don't do anything at all. Okay, bye-bye. I'm just going to take your money and you're out of here. That doesn't happen, right? People pay because they want solutions. They want to hear the step-by-step process. They want to hear that other people have benefited from that process, right? That's just the world we're living in. It really is, right? Everybody wants to know somebody else has benefited, and it's helpful. Like I said earlier, certain things show up to us and meet us exactly where we are when we need them. And then you might use them for a while and realize, okay, this isn't working anymore. I'm looking and seeking something else. And you just keep going down this path. And you could argue that we continue to do this via reincarnation, like we continue to come back because we're seeking something over and over and over, yet the ego is seeking and not finding. It just continues circling and circling like a dog chasing its tail.
Tomorrow morning is knocking. Stock your fridge now. How about a creamy mocha frappuccino drink? Or a sweet vanilla? Smooth caramel, maybe? Or a white chocolate mocha? Whichever you choose, delicious coffee awaits. Find Starbucks Frappuccino drinks wherever you buy your groceries.
Visible puts the ultimate wireless hack in the palm of your hand. With unlimited 5G wireless data and hotspot designed to keep you connected, powered by Verizon's 5G network. And no contract holding you back. Plans start at $25 a month, or get the premium Visible Plus Pro plan and save $10 on your first month when you use promo code HACK. Make the switch at Visible.com. Terms apply. See Visible.com for details.
If you've ever had that thought that maybe there's nothing to do, maybe you've had a challenging time with a loved one in your life, someone was in crisis, and you didn't know what to do for them, or someone was causing a lot of trouble in your life repeatedly over and over and over again, and you just didn't know what to do. It's like you'd exhausted all the options, nothing was working, and you didn't know what to do. And our minds do not like the answer, we'll just stop doing anything. That doesn't satisfy the mind, right? The mind immediately sees that as a failure, a cop-out. You've stopped trying. You get where I'm going. It really does. The ego mind sees that as failure. But what if it isn't? What if it's wisdom shining from spirit saying, you don't need to push and push and push to make things happen. Just stop. Let things simmer. Let them be. Just let it be, right? Let everything work itself out naturally. I'll share with you my own personal experience during my own transformation that took me years and years to come to this place. So I hope by sharing it, I'm saving you a little time. I had spent years, probably at least 10 years, trying to figure out what was happening to me after this energetic phenomenon took over my life, so much so that I became extremely sensitive to everything around me. I had expanded states of consciousness, making me feel like I was no longer a body. And it was very challenging on my nervous system, and I completely retreated from the outside world for many years. And I wanted an answer to what was happening to me. I wanted to know exactly what happened, why it happened, and where it was leading me. My mind was wanting a major solution. And it really didn't matter what that solution was. I just kind of wanted to know all about it. And I wasn't getting any answers. I would get subtle hints. I would be guided to certain things like Kundalini awakening, shamanic initiation, higher states of consciousness. I was guided and looked into all these avenues. Nothing ever resonated fully. I could relate to a lot of it, but I refrained from taking any of it on. I refrained from becoming the Kundalini awakening. I refrained from thinking I was a shaman. I just couldn't go there. It was this part of me. There was something deep within me that was saying, keep going, just listen and keep going. It wasn't like, hey, you are experiencing this. There was nothing like that. It was just this deep calling and just this pull. And I felt it physically. Something greater pulling me along. And I kicked and screamed the entire time. But I knew that I sort of had to go along with it because it really felt powerful. It was very overwhelming to my nervous system. And I really felt that there was no choice. At the time, I felt like I had no option. So I just sort of went with it. And I just allowed myself over time to just go where what I felt was spirit guiding me somewhere else. And I had to fully let everything go. I had to stop trying to solve it. I had to stop thinking I knew the answer or I was going to find an answer. I had to let go of it all. And that I didn't need to know anything. I emptied completely. And in a moment, everything was gone. I didn't know anything. Everything fell out of me. And it felt very physical. That just everything left. I know absolutely nothing. Now, that might sound scary to some of you, but I have to tell you, it was one of the most liberating moments of my entire life. Not knowing anything paved a way for me to trust that I was going to be absolutely fine wherever I was headed. Not needing to know where I was going, what was happening, where I would land, if I would get over it. If I would be able to function in the world again. I just let it all completely go. And I let it be. Now, you might be sitting there saying, well, okay, you let it be. Well, what does that mean? How did you let it be? I stopped worrying about the experiences that were coming through my body. I trusted that spirit was right there. And in that very moment of any physical or energetic experience I was having, I looked around the room, surveyed the scene, and asked the question, am I okay? And underneath all the phenomenon that I would feel, the essence underneath, this larger awareness was always perfectly fine. So I invite you to look at your own life. And you certainly don't have to have some strange energetic phenomenon to benefit from what I'm saying. You could be in the midst of anything. The form of it is totally irrelevant. It's whatever is presented to you. Whatever we are presented with is our learning device. So if you're in the middle of a situation, say you're struggling with another person and it's complicated, and you're wanting an answer, you're wanting a solution, and every solution that you look for, let's say you've gone to therapy, you've both committed to trying, you're doing all these things, that still a wall is being put up between the two of you and it feels impossible. What if you stop doing anything? What if you hand it over to Spirit and you just say, Spirit, I don't know anything at all. I've overcomplicated this situation and it's not working. And now I'm ready to be guided. Help me see this through your eyes. And you let go of the outcome. You let go of it needing to turn out the way you think it should go. You let go of what your mind and the other person's mind desire from this particular relationship or encounter or experience that you're having. And you leave it up to something greater than your small mind. This would be called the art of letting it be. Learning to let things be. And maybe in time, the answers that you really need, maybe the ones that you hadn't seen, will just show up. There will be no seeking. You won't be searching. Things will just appear out of nowhere. Or you might be somewhere and you get inspired by something. It hits you immediately in your mind and you're like, that's it. And you didn't have to think about it. It just came to you. Spirit just nudged you a little bit and inspired you with this new thought. And you knew immediately that was the answer. We've all had moments of inspiration. And inspiration that comes out of nowhere, when you're not even trying to discover it, is something to pay attention to. You know, when you're overthinking something, like, let's say, for instance, you're overthinking the solution and you're striving and you're just seeking and seeking, and nothing's happening, right? But then one day you decide to get up, and you get up early one morning and you're feeling good and you go out for a walk. You just go out for a walk and you look around and you're admiring the beauty of nature around you. And all of a sudden you're inspired. Something hits you out of nowhere and you're like, that's it. That's what I need to do. But you didn't have to sit and drool over it and complicate the hell out of it, right? It just came because you opened yourself up to listen, to let it be, to take a step back. And this isn't easy because the mind wants to be in the driver's seat all the time. So you have to actively say, okay, how can I allow, and how does this art of letting it be happen? I have to actively allow myself to sit in the back seat. When I take a back seat, I can relax. I don't control the car, right? So whatever happens in the car, I'm just sort of going with the flow of it. You can't take over the wheel. You're just there. It's similar to being in an airplane, right? You're not flying the plane. There's only a couple people in the cockpit flying the plane, or maybe the computer's flying the plane, but you know what I'm getting at. None of us in the back, the 200 or 300 plus people, have any say in what happens to that plane. So you're just going with it. In the turbulence, you're going with it. You're always moving with it. It's the same thing when the art of letting it be in your life hits you. You start observing things around you instead of trying so hard to make things happen when you're going against the flow. When you feel friction in your life, you know it's not working. You want things to feel easy and effortless, and then Spirit starts working through you because you've opened the door. You've set aside the noise and the chaos of the mind, and you've now allowed the space to open up within you. There's this huge field of awareness where you can now observe. You can watch and you can listen. When you're in this space of constant observing, openness, and awareness, you are flexible. You can be flexible to where Spirit is guiding you. You don't feel so rigid with your shoulders up to your ears and the knots forming in your shoulders from all the stress. You know what I'm talking about. Years ago, when I was very uncomfortable with energy moving through me, I was at the zoo with my kids. And I remember going into a bathroom. It was crowded. I have my 4 kids in there. And there was just energy flying around, people everywhere, kids running around, and it was chaos. And I didn't realize it, but my shoulders were kind of tense and moving up to my ears. And I heard this inner voice, and it said, you know, you can lower your shoulders away from your ears. And I thought, oh, I guess I can. I didn't even realize I was so tense. So I took a deep breath and I dropped those shoulders down, and a total shift in my energy occurred. And I felt this deep inner knowing that just said, you know, you can experience life in peace. So think about it. When you're in the midst of chaos, you're in an area where there's tons of people and it's stressful and annoying. Think about, you could do this in peace. You could sit in the back seat with Spirit and watch everything unfold. You become open to other possibilities, that life can flow in a very harmonious way without your mind needing to dictate and find solutions, because the solutions are already there. The solutions to all of our supposed problems that we think we're in have already been worked out. The issue is not that there's a problem. The issue is that we believe it's a problem. But what if it's not a problem at all? What if everything we go through in life is not a problem? It's not happening to us. And a lot of people say it's happening for us. I would switch that. I think it's we are doing it all. We are projecting all of it. A few episodes ago, I had the episode, The Dreamer of the Dream. Well, if we're the dreamer of the dream, then we are creating our experience. We can create it in turmoil and complication with our shoulders to our ears, or we can lower the shoulders, relax, take a deep breath, get in the back seat, and let Spirit guide us, inspire us, and lead the way. And to learn the art of letting it be. I want to share with you a couple things that happened on this last trip. They're simple things, but they make life easier. Now, my husband travels a lot. He travels a lot for work. And he's one of these people who always has the craziest things happen on an airplane. He will have delay after delay. He'll get rerouted to a new city he wasn't supposed to land in. He's texting me all the time with, oh my God, can you believe this? So it's constant. And he's kind of used to it. But what's funny is when he and I travel together, I will say to him things like, everything will work out as it should when we travel, whatever, right? And what's the worst thing about going to the airport? I go to the Denver International Airport and it's so busy. It's just so busy. It's like one of the top 3 busiest airports in the country. And it's a mess. It's a shit show on a regular basis, right? But what was interesting is this last trip to the airport, I walked into the airport, and because I kind of have a sensitive nature, I sense energy and chaos regularly. But for whatever reason, I felt extremely calm this time. I just felt this warmth of calm through the entire process. And we check in, we get our passes, and we go through the security line. And we're standing to enter a specific line to put our stuff through security scanners and, all the things you have to do. And as we're standing there, I look to my right, and a TSA agent looks at me and says, you can come over here. This is a brand new line. And I thought, okay. So the 6 of us just waltz over into a brand new open line. Not one person had entered it. And my husband looks at me and he's like, that never happens. I have never had that happen in 25 years of traveling. And I just laughed. I was like, thank you, Spirit, for making this an easy process. Because I always kind of struggle in those moments, just energetically. And it was just so flowing and easy. I had to laugh. It was very funny. And I thought, when you just take a step back and look around, things open up. And the art of letting it be was so alive in that moment. The last thing I'll share with you before I sign off here is on our way back from the trip, we're driving home from the airport. Nobody's talking. One of my daughters needs a car. And I'm looking out the window, and all of a sudden we pass a Toyota Prius. And I get this instant knowing that my husband is going to tell me that we need to go look at a Toyota Prius. Nobody says a word. I just hear this in my head. And we keep driving. It's very calm and peaceful in the car. I think everyone was exhausted from our trip. And then we get home. Later that evening, he says to me, I just saw a really good deal with lower miles on a Toyota Prius. I think we should go look at. So what do? The next day, we go look at this Toyota Prius that kind of miraculously showed up and unfolded. And now we're in the process of buying this vehicle for our daughter. That happened easily, without effort, without complication, without any of it. The headache, the overwhelm was absent. And I don't say this that you're just going to get everything you want, because that is not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is when you just stop, get quiet and calm within yourself, take those moments in the midst of your life, as you're living your life, like that moment in the car, no one's talking, I'm just looking, and you get a hit of knowing something. Something comes into you. When you take a step back inside of yourself, you allow the guidance to come in. And that's what I'm getting at. And it could be guidance for anything in your life. Again, the form of what you're looking for is not relevant. It's more about learning to open the space within yourself, relax, take a step back, and watch. Let yourself be guided and listen. And you will subtly start learning the art of letting things be. So I hope that helps. It's simple. It doesn't have to be some drawn out, complicated theory. It's very easy. The more and more you look at this in your life and start observing and noticing it, the easier it becomes, the lighter you feel, the more you start smiling, the more joy you feel, and then you start laughing because it's kind of comical how much you can truly be guided in your life without overcomplicating everything. And just like my daughter ordering that, oh my God, over-the-top drink, which, by the way, I must say, tasted really good. It just sparked this whole show for today. The overcomplication isn't necessary. The overcomplication, the mind's attachment to thinking you're in the midst of a problem, isn't so. The solutions are already available. All it takes is just a little bit of willingness to see it. So I hope that helps. I hope you all have an amazing week. As a reminder, I always love hearing from you. If you guys have any questions about awakening, or if you want to share things that are going on in your life, you have inspiration for a show topic, or you have questions, please reach out to me and get on my website at livelikeeden.com. Just send me a message, or send me a message on Instagram at live.like.eden, and I will personally respond to you. Have a great week, everybody. I'll see you next time. That's it for today's show. Thanks so much for listening. If it resonated, please share, follow, and drop a review with your takeaways. It really means a lot. Visit my website at livelikeeden.com to subscribe for weekly reminders and blogs, or sign up for a free 30-minute consult to explore one-on-one guidance sessions if you're really struggling in awakening's darkness. Take my awakening quiz to get a personal podcast playlist that meets you exactly where you're at. See you next week for another deep dive.
Hey everybody, it's me, Sarah Wiseman. Are you an intuitive, empath, sensitive, or seeker who wants to learn more? Join me for my podcast, Spiritual Psychic. We'll talk about topics like psychic development, channeling, spirituality, and how to live soul first on the spiritual path. Part of the mindbodyspirit.fm podcast network, and available wherever you get your podcasts.